Alright, what's up, guys? This is going to be a thing that I try to do where I talk about basketball. It's going to be basically me talking about anything that piques my interest. And the other day I saw this picture right here where it has the Hall of Fame probabilities, I guess according to basketball reference. So I wanted to take this picture and talk about it, but this is just point guards. So I actually went to basketball reference and I have all the players up right here. So I'm just going to look at the top 30 or so players on here and determine whether they should be in the Hall of Fame or not. Now, the Basketball Hall of Fame, that being said, is an absolute joke. Anybody can get into the Basketball Hall of Fame. The criteria is not that high. It's not very strict, so keep that in mind. But anyway, starting off, LeBron James, obviously, first ballot Hall of Famer, arguably the best player to ever play the game, obviously going into the Hall of Fame. Chris Paul, 100% Hall of Fame probability. The only thing that I find interesting about Chris Paul being here is that he's above Steph Curry, which is crazy to me because Steph has done so much for the game. Chris Paul is an absolutely phenomenal player, has been for a very, very, very long time, and is, the stereotypical perfect point guard. Like, Chris Paul is absolutely incredible. One of the best leaders in the game, one of the best minds in the game. Make no mistake about that. But him being above Steph Curry is crazy to me. But I agree that Chris Paul 100% deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Kevin Durant, there's nothing really to say. As much as I don't like him, he is the only person who really challenged LeBron for the best player in the game title when LeBron was at his peak. It was a little bit after LeBron's peak, but Kevin Durant, 100% Hall of Fame. I agree with that. He's probably the most versatile scorer in the history of the game, so he's an absolute weapon. So, yeah, 100% Hall of Fame. And then this gets really interesting. James Harden is above Steph Curry. Can you tell me why? Like, why is James Harden above Steph Curry? I mean, it's barely noticeable. Like, they basically have the same percentage. But I don't know if James Harden's he definitely shouldn't be above Steph Curry. That being said, with the Basketball Hall of Fame, I think James Harden's obviously going into it. So is pretty much all these guys. But Steph Curry actually did a lot. He just did a lot more than James Harden. Don't get me wrong, James Harden's a great player. But above Steph Curry, I don't know about that. So yeah, James Harden's kind of interesting. Steph Curry, he in my opinion, should absolutely be a 100% Hall of Famer, first ballot. There's a strong case for him to be the greatest point guard of all time. Magic did a lot and has a lot on his resume, but Steph Curry changed the entire game. So, Steph is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Russell Westbrook, he was another interesting one. This guy did not have a lot of playoff success without Kevin Durant. Got eliminated in the first round a lot. But, he did stuff that people didn't think was going to be possible when he averaged a triple-double. Like, nobody thought that was going to be possible. And then Russell Westbrook completely ruined the triple-double. Like, it doesn't matter anymore if you have a triple-double. So, like, whatever, okay? All good players are supposed to have triple-doubles. Like, that's what it's coming to. Like, if you're a good player, you're expected to have triple-doubles. But Westbrook completely just destroyed that stat. That's his stat now, so... I think he'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame. Dwight Howard being this high interests me. Because, Dwight Howard, you look at his resume, I think he was, a 3 or 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, something like that. He was an absolute force. He eliminated LeBron when LeBron didn't have a team. Lost to Kobe, but a lot of people lost to Kobe. He was absolutely phenomenal at his peak. And he did end up getting a championship in his later years. He was a great player. Was he ever better than Anthony Davis? I don't think so. I think Anthony Davis absolutely has always been better than Dwight Howard. Like, if you take Dwight Howard's peak and Anthony Davis's peak, Anthony Davis is a much better player. But yeah, I agree. Both of these guys should go into the Hall of Fame. Carmelo Anthony. That's another interesting one. I mean, what did Carmelo really do? I mean, didn't like he went to one conference finals, didn't he? Like in his entire career. Um, he didn't win an MVP. I mean, he was a scoring leader. How many times was Carmelo Anthony a scoring? Let's see, once. He was a one-time scoring leader. That's it. Wow, that's crazy. Carmelo for his career is only a 23-point scorer. I mean, he has played for a long time. He's got his drop-off years right here. But, yeah, I mean, he's a one-time scoring leader, and what he was known for is being a scorer. He was terribly inefficient at it. Let's see, effective field goal is 48%. Field goal percentage, 44%. I mean, field goal percentage is a terrible stat, but I mean, Carmelo Anthony's good. You know, he was a good player. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll go into the Hall of Fame, sure, just because of what he made the New York Knicks relevant, or at least he made them fun to watch. So yeah, I think he'll go into the Hall of Fame. Do I think Carmelo Anthony should be in the Hall of Fame over Kyle Lowry? Absolutely not. I think Kyle Lowry absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame before Carmelo, and I absolutely love Carmelo Anthony. Don't get this twisted as me hating on Carmelo, but I will admit Carmelo Anthony is better than Kyle Lowry at his peak, but Kyle Lowry did everything he needed to do to win a championship, and I think those guys should also be acknowledged and rewarded. Honestly, I think Kyle Lowry should go in the Hall of Fame before Dame Lillard, because what he did actually resulted in winning. He was a big part of a championship team. Damian Lillard is a phenomenal player, but he is Hall of Fame above Kyle Lowry. Like, don't get it wrong, Damian Lillard's in a totally different stratosphere over Kyle Lowry in terms of actual skill set. It's just Kyle Lowry has won a championship. And I know some of you said, Damian Lillard never played with Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, I know. But it doesn't matter. Kyle Lowry had success for multiple years with DeMar DeRozan. I mean, then they ran into LeBron. But that's whatever. Paul George. Is Paul George a Hall of Famer? I mean, like I said, all these guys are probably Hall of Famers by the Hall of Fame standards. But if I was in charge of putting people in the Hall of Fame, I don't think Paul George makes it, in my opinion. I mean, he was a really good player. I mean, he was like a top 3 MVP candidate. Yeah, I don't know if this is really a Hall of Fame career. I mean, 26 and 3.5. I mean, I don't know. He was nearly a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He was a top 3 MVP candidate, but I don't know, man. I think the Hall of Fame should be way stricter. Kyrie Irving, absolutely going into the Hall of Fame. He hit maybe the best shot in the history of the NBA. Just for that one shot, he pretty much makes it into the Hall of Fame because of how he played in that series. I mean, Kyrie played phenomenal in the finals, so he earned a championship, and he was next to LeBron, but Kyrie absolutely earned that championship. Kawhi absolutely should go into the Hall of Fame. I mean, he hit the luckiest shot on the planet against Philly, and which led to his championship because, the Warriors had one player out there. But, I mean, Kawhi was, he played well. He played phenomenal. So, yeah, he should go into the Hall of Fame. Kevin Love. Kevin Love at his peak was really, really good. Arguably one of the best power forwards / centers. I mean, he didn't really play center back then. I think he did. But he was absolutely phenomenal at his peak in Minnesota. And then he did what he had to do and made adjustments to his game to fit in with LeBron and Kyrie. And he got a championship out of it. So, I think Kevin Love should go in. Giannis Antetokounmpo, this is crazy to me. I don't know when this was last updated or what, but a 67.85%. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a first ballot Hall of Famer, no questions asked. I mean, back-to-back MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, won a championship, absolutely tearing through people. He stepped up when his team needed him. He played phenomenal in the finals. He fucking closed out with, I think it was 50 points. I mean, absolutely incredible. Giannis is first ballot Hall of Fame. Rondo, I mean, I like Rondo. I like Rondo a lot. I mean, he was a really good leader. I think he was an assist leader a couple times. Rondo stats, let's see. 2, 3. Yeah, he led the league in assists 3 times. I mean, I think he goes into the Hall of Fame because he did contribute to a championship. But I mean, he's only a 4-time All-Star. But he did lead the league in assists 3 times, and he was always near the top. Who led the league as an assist? 10-11. Holy shit. But yeah, I mean, when you look at his numbers, you don't really see the impact that he had. I think Rondo gets in there. He's not like first ballot like Giannis or, like Dame should go into the Hall of Fame over Rondo, I think, because Dame is that much better than Rondo. But I don't know. Kyle Lowry's better than Rondo ever was too. So I don't know. I would put him in the Hall of Fame, just not before any of those guys above him. Blake Griffin, I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame personally. For me, I don't think he goes into the Hall of Fame. I mean, what did he do to deserve Hall of Fame? I mean, he was a big name next to Chris Paul in the Clippers, and he did the whole Lob City thing, but so? I mean, maybe if he does what he has to do in Brooklyn and wins a championship with them, adjust his game in his older years and, play well. I think there's value to that. So I could see him making it, but I actually kind of agree with this. It's like 50-50. Like, Brooklyn has to win, and he has to do what he has to do. Like, he has to play well in his role. So I would say 50-50 for Blake. Klay Thompson, first ballot. Not really first ballot, but close to first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he is part of the backcourt that revolutionized basketball. I mean, he dropped 60 in with like 11 dribbles. That's a Hall of Famer to me. Jimmy Butler, oh man, it pains me to say because I'm a Miami Heat guy, but I really don't think Jimmy is Hall of Fame right now. I mean, he had an awesome run in the bubble with the Heat, took the Lakers to 6 games. Really, really good player, really good leader, in the right circumstance. But I don't think he's done enough to become a Hall of Fame player. Draymond, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. I just realized I've been recording for 14 minutes, so I'm going to speed this up. Draymond's a Hall of Famer. John Wall's not. Nikola Jokic is absolutely a Hall of Famer. Maybe the most lethal offensive big of all time. Kemba Walker, no. Al Horford, no. And this was the one that really got me. Wanted to make this video, talk about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is the youngest MVP, I believe, in history. I don't think anybody took it from him. Derrick Rose should absolutely go into the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. I mean, he hadn't had the best career since that MVP, but we all know why. It was injuries. Derrick Rose would absolutely dominate. They would have dominated the league. So, yeah, I think Derrick Rose absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Just some interesting ones that I see. Andre Iguodala's way down at 30. He's definitely going into the Hall of Fame. I mean, if the aliens had the space beam pointed at the Earth and said you had to make one shot, I mean, who are you taking above Andre Iguodala? I want Iguodala. Marc Gasol, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he's Hall of Fame. It's crazy to me that, Bradley Beal is above Chris Middleton. I mean, Bradley Beal is obviously a better player than Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton's, the perfect Robin. He's like Robin plus. So I think Chris Middleton's definitely going in there. Devin Booker, not yet, but he probably will be. Udonis Haslem's a Hall of Famer. Fuck out of here with that. Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna talk about. But